Sarah, all day. Hell yeah.
Armwrestling's about to take place.
Yeah.
So I got some questions from our subscribers. I made a post saying that I was going to have you on my channel. So, I just picked out a couple of random ones that I thought were pretty good. So I just want to ask you these. The first one is, are you going to try and stay at lower weight class than your dad, or plan to get big and be your generation's Levon?
So right now, at my age, I'm just trying to get as big as I can. I'm trying to fill out as much as I can. I'm eating and training all the time. And wherever my weight lands is kind of where I'm just going to be. We'll see how much I keep growing. I'm still getting taller right now. My frame's still growing. My plates haven't fused yet, so that's always a good sign. But I would like to be 115. I think 115 kilos quite nice. I think that's a very nice weight where I can be really, really big, but not really worry about having to fight 400-pound guys and stuff. So I think that's probably where I'll aim. I'll definitely start lower and work my way up. That's the end goal. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see where I get to. I'm gonna keep growing and eating and training, and I'll see how big I can get.
I know your father has told me in the past that he's always had problems putting on weight and keeping on size and all. Do you find yourself having that same situation, or you could gain pretty easily?
Yeah, it's super hard for me to put weight on. My metabolism is just so high. I can eat so many calories and so much protein and carbs and everything, I don't really get full. I can just eat all day, and it's hard for me to grow. It's hard. I've put in a significant amount of work, and I've grown. I've grown over the last year where I was really trying for it, but not the same other people would have. Not the same. If other people had done what I've done, they would be way bigger. But it's just how it goes. Yeah. So I can take a lot of calories without much of a change, but I enjoy it because it keeps me lean. Like I can sit on my ass all day and just do weight training and not worry about gaining fat at all.
And it's also got to be hard to gain some muscle. You also said that you were doing track, and running and all that. So I'm sure that definitely speeds up the metabolism and also makes it harder to keep the muscle on as well.
Yeah, so for track, I'm not doing running actually. I'm throwing stuff, so it's a little bit different. Yeah, but I totally agree. Like I am quite active. A lot of the stuff I do is like different sport related stuff. So I do know if I cut that out, it'd probably be a little bit easier, but I don't really mind. I like keeping my cardio up anyway because I know it's very important. So yeah, it works for me.
And that might also translate into arm wrestling, throwing things and,
Mhm.
helping you out with your explosion and on your head and all. I've heard things like that. We know that Travis Bagent was a college pitcher and he contributes a lot of his explosive power coming from pitching, throwing 90-mile-an-hour fastballs and all.
Mhm.
So the next question I have for you is who would you like to train with in the future to develop your technique?
To develop my technique, I already brought up Ongarbaev. That one is very very exciting to me. I'd love to get some table time with him and make him teach me everything he knows. But I want to train with like really everybody. Every different person has something new to add and some new aspect that they're incredible at. All the top level athletes have one incredible strength, and I just love to learn everything from everybody. But in particular, I'd like to see Engen. I'd like to see Dennis. I'd like to go hang out with John for a while. A lot of those guys, they all have something different to add, and they all have dominated the sport for so long. And it would just be incredible to get some wisdom off those guys.
You have any plans of traveling around and actually following up on this and maybe staying with a couple of the arm wrestlers, maybe make your way to Istanbul, Turkey, and get to go to Engen school over there? And you have any plans as of right now?
Absolutely, yes, actually, I do. I There's no date finalized right now, but very likely I'm going to Istanbul and hanging out with Engen for like a week and just training, and that is going to be so incredible. I cannot wait for that. That is going to be like the coolest week of my life.
That is one of the most amazing gifts, bro. When I first got into the sport, the first year, I got blessed to be trained with Engen, and he was my coach. And I learned so much stuff. I actually have like his whole library of all his videos of all his training and all his exercises, which is like pure gold to have. And
Mhm.
the dude is just the encyclopedia of arm wrestling as far as history, and also just being one of the top teachers in arm wrestling these days in the world.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's gonna be so exciting.
will you ever train your left? I know that we just came off of a surgery, and I know you said you do some table time. Will you ever compete with the left and go all in as well?
Yeah, so I think I will always compete with my left and train with my left, but it's never going to be as good as my right. It's never going to be at the level my right is, and I know that I'm not too worried about it. I don't think I'll ever fully commit to Giant Pumpkin unless I'm like way older and then I do it. But I think I train my right a lot harder, and it's never really going to catch up. So it won't be at the level of competition that my right is. So realistically, I shouldn't be competing left, but in tournaments and stuff I will, because I just have fun competing anyway. But the right's the one that I'm trying to win and like legit go with.
And what I got to say about that is, I was on the same thing when I first got into arm wrestling. I was all just about the right, but then unfortunately, I hurt myself and I had to go have a surgery and get the bicep tendon reattached. So when that was going on, I really started focusing on the left, just so I wouldn't go out of my mind and wanted to keep training and all. So I feel like that happens a lot with a lot of arm wrestlers. If you hurt one of your arms, you don't want to stop. So you start putting a little more focus on the other arm, and little do you know, next thing you know, your left might even be better and more coordinated.
Hmm.
Next question would be thoughts on Bacho, since you're same age as him. We just seen Bacho just put on a show, man, which nobody expected. The dude was just a monster, just had everybody in awe. Adam Warzinski, we know, is so tremendously strong, usually holds everybody in the center like a wall. And
Hmm.
if you blinked, you might have missed this match. Bacho was just so goddamn powerful and quick. What's your thoughts on that? Him only being 18 years old.
Yeah, that is so incredible to me. The Bacho is already at such an incredible level. Like, where do you put him after that? Like, he just destroyed Adam, who was amazing in his class and who's clearly incredibly strong. And Bacho just toyed with him. And I think he already can have a title shot. It might be a really good match. Like, we'll see where he gets to, because some kids they get really good early and they don't get much better than that. But man, at the trajectory he's going, he might be the next Levon. He might be insane. I mean, he's Levon's cousin, right?
Yeah.
So that's just totally insane, and I can't wait to see him do the next couple matches. But oh my god, man, what an awesome guy! That is incredible. I'm man, that's amazing. I'm just gotta say I'm in total shock of that guy. That's amazing.
And what we got to say is, at that age of only 18 years old and being on such a big stage, he could be the next John Brzenk. I mean, it's going to be very hard, and he's got 40 years to come of just dominating, but he's actually at that young age that he can actually pull that off. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
going to be
incredible.
very interesting to watch. But I also don't want to get too far ahead of us and judging from one match, saying he's the next GOAT or whatever. So I definitely want to see
Mhm.
him up against some other competition and see if he could do the same thing. A lot of people were saying in the questions and all, what do you think of a match versus you against Bacho? Are you anywhere near that level, or you got some
No,
time? Yeah.
no chance. Bacho would murder me right now. I would love that match in the future at some point once I'm bigger and stronger. But at this level, man, he's not even close to me. He's so much above me that it wouldn't be anything. I mean, I would love to meet him and train together, but a super match at this point, I can tell he's a lot further than I am. So I wouldn't even bother really with that one.
Where do you put yourself on the food chain? Are you would you consider yourself still an amateur? Are you a low level pro? Are you coming on that elite level? Where do you put yourself?
I'm not exactly sure where I'd put myself. I'd say probably low level pro. Um, or I mean, I'm not an amateur. I know how to arm wrestle and stuff like that. So, but I'm not incredible yet. I've only really been totally into it for about a year or give or take. But but I've got the pretty good genetics for it, so that definitely helps me out. And I'm just going to continue getting better. But at this level, I'm not East versus West like stage worthy or anything like that at all. I'm still more local tournaments and stuff like that.
What's your goal for the next 5 years for your arm wrestling career?
So for the next 5 years, my goal is to at least win nationals. That's the Canadian nationals. That'll be difficult to win because Canadian nationals is very difficult. There's a bunch of different super strong guys, but winning that would be my main goal at this point. And as soon as I win that, then I know I'm really at the level where in Canada I can, at that point, if I win Canadian nationals, I can go on to East versus West and stuff like that. As soon as I'm the best in Canada at one weight class, then I'm happy to progress. And that's the goal within the next 5 years.
So you're not looking to do this just as a hobby. You're going all in professional arm wrestling.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Now, do you see yourself doing this as a full-time job?
I do. I do see myself doing this as a full-time job. If it's financially possible, then I will do it without a hesitation. But likely at the early stages, it won't be totally financially responsible of me to not have a job. So I will likely keep my job and find maybe some other jobs and work around and do everything I can to make money while I also progress in arm wrestling. But as soon as I reach the point where I'm able to support myself financially and arm wrestle, then that's all I'm going to do. I love it so much. So that's what I'll do.
Now, are you going to focus in the beginning on tournament pulling, or are you open to have super matches?
So I think tournament pulling at this stage is good, but I will do either. Like I love having super matches. They're so much fun for me. But often, like I'm always getting DMs in my Instagram. People calling me out, be like, "Oh, I'll crush you. Come here." And it's not something I worry about too much at this level. Like the super matches, they're fun, but tournaments are much nicer because I can feel a lot of different people and work through. But I'm not opposed to super matches at all. If I think that I'm relatively close to the person and the time frame works, then I would absolutely do one without hesitation, really.
Yeah, I'm sure you're getting a lot of offers for super matches. I'm sure everybody's in your messages trying to pull you, and because everybody wants to get that win and say they beat
Mhm.
Devin's son and all that. So I'm sure you're going to have to deal with a lot of that. My recommendation is stick with the tournaments at the beginning, get your
Yeah.
experience up, and then start going with the super matches. Because I kind
Mhm.
of, when I first came in, I went right to the super matches. Everybody got to know me right away. So everybody wanted to pull me coming from a bodybuilding background. And, I took a couple of super matches, but I had no business being in there. I had no experience. I did all right, but, I also contribute. I was going a little too fast. And I think that's where I hurt myself with both arms, and I had to have 2
Mhm.
surgeries. So now I'm kind of fell back and I'm focusing more on tournaments. And, I feel like I'm learning a lot more, and it's not as much pressure on me.
Yeah, I feel like my progression is I'm just gonna take my time. I'm really focused on the end goal, so I'm not trying to rush anything right now, and just I want to get as good as I can. And it'll take a while before I'm at the level of like example East versus West and all those different high level things. But that's the end goal, and I'm working my way there. I feel like super matches, they're nice, but I don't need them right now. Tournaments are great because I can get the competitive level, but it's different. A super match and a tournament win, very, very different arm wrestling just in total.
I agree with you completely.